Okay, so I wanted to shoot an update to this video. I was kind of unsatisfied with what he recently did, and it turns out it wasn't recent. It turns out the cancellations were because of what happened in 2016. I thought he did something new. Now, that doesn't really change anything I've said in this reaction, but I am kind of not sure if what he did in 2016, if he apologized for it and hasn't done anything since, would justify cancellations in 2023. So I'm a little confused by that. I want to refresh my memory. I pulled up a couple videos, and as I was looking, I found apparently 6 months ago something with Dimebag that went viral, and this is same website, Heavy. So let me remind myself of his apology. Because I don't remember if he ever like actually apologized or if he was using excuses like the whine and the bullshit, because that's weak. That's weak. Like if you make a mistake, own up to it, you know, just man up, say you fucked up, understand. The important thing when you mess up is to understand why you messed up, because if you don't understand why you messed up, you'll just mess up again. But if you can convey to people that you understand why what you did was problematic, then there's forgiveness available from those people, because the key there, their concern is the understanding part, right? Because of course at the end of the day they're words. It's a matter of how you understand the implication of those things. So let me just remind myself of this.
Here to basically respond to all the...
It looks like he's being held hostage.
Deserved completely. I was at the Dime Bash, and it was extremely late at night.
It's from 6 years ago.
There was heavy-duty talk between myself and those who love Dime, and heavy emotions were flowing. Jokes were made backstage.
I know the guy who killed Dime, wasn't he blaming him for like the breakup of Pantera? And maybe are there people blaming Phil as well? Could that have been part of what was the back and forth with the audience?
That transpired upon the stage, and it was ugly. It was uncalled for. And anyone who knows me and my true nature knows that I don't believe in any of that. I don't want to be part of any group. I'm an individual. And
the reason I believe that is that's the vibe he's always given. You know what I mean? It's part of why he's a problem. You know what I mean? Because he's not, you know, people have a problem with saying he's not the smartest guy. I know he's intelligent in some ways, but in this way, his impulsiveness makes him a bit of a dumbass. It's the impulsiveness part, right? It doesn't mean you're stupid. It just means that you're having trouble controlling what should be pretty obvious, you know, controllable emotions for the average person. Just isn't for him. But let's be real, he's not an average dude, obviously. You know, I also remember, wasn't like Dave Winnick, the who's black and also gay, backstage, I think he was covering for him, because again, I do not buy the wine story, but here it's sounding like he's just straight up apologizing, like he just straight up, like, no frills, no made up bullshit, just, yeah, I was wrong, I don't want to be in a group kind of apology.
And I am 1,000% apologetic to anyone that took offense to what I said, because you should have taken offense to what...
Okay, that's what I was looking for, because it's like, I'm sorry for hurting your feelings is not really an apology. You gotta own up to the fact that what you said was something to be offended by.
I said, and I am so sorry, and I hope you just, man, give me another chance to... Just give me another chance. I love all of you. And anyone who's met me, anyone who knows me, knows that I love all of you. Bless you.
Yeah, because I know Zach, when they interviewed Zach Wilde, I know he was disappointed in Phil. And here we are, 7 years later, they're performing together. So it's like I say, face to face, like when you can know the heart of a man. But I feel like we've seen Phil enough. Now, I'm basing this based on my basic knowledge, but I pulled up another video, and it's a compilation, apparently, because I'm only familiar with the 2016 thing. Now, again, young, dumb, impulsive, and also from where he's from and how he was raised, because I have no doubt, there's like zero doubt that he has probably a lot of family members who are fucking racist. I have no doubt. Based where he's from, Dime, everybody, okay? That goes without saying, okay? There's a certain age group, an age demographic where you just know that certain family members are gonna have racist fucking family members. What I'm saying is it doesn't make the person racist who was raised there, but it does weaken the impact of saying certain words and having a certain idea or a certain, you know, that's where people don't realize where the subconscious, the subliminal racism is, where you can do something or treat someone a certain way and not even realize you're treating them that way because of how you see them and not based on what they are. You get what I'm saying? But before I do this, because this is a longer video, I just want to hear this Dime thing, because this I didn't even know about. Let me see the context of it.
A video of founding Pantera guitarist Dimebag Daryl Abbott using a racial slur has gone viral. The video was seen on the front page of Reddit this morning, receiving 13,000 upvotes thus far and even more views. In the footage, Dimebag is seen signing autographs at the National Association of Music Merchants show, where he very casually uses a racial slur.
First of all, his energy, like, he was such a happy, energetic dude. Oh my goodness. But of course he's got the Confederate flag on his sleeve there, and you know, they always said it was, you know, Leonard Skinner, they were paying tribute to the band. Again, back there, Dukes of Hazzard and all this stuff, it was heritage and not hate, which again, I get if you were raised that way why you have that perception, but that perception is just an illusion. It's not correct. And the reason we know it's not correct is because we know when the flag started to resurface back into society, what its implications is, what it means. So we understand, you know, the dog whistling thing doesn't work anymore. Okay, like we all see through that now. And I remember Phil, I think I said it was the brothers that denounced it. I mean, they all, I think, stopped using it at some point, but I believe it was Phil who actually denounced the use of it, questioning it. He's thinking it's not heritage. He's not buying all that. But again, he did buy it before because that's just how we were raised. And I can't really blame people for how they were raised, as long as you learn later on at some point, right? I mean, we're all dumb at some point in our lives and we learn. This is what learning is, right? The question is are we trying to improve as people? If we are, then there always has to be path for redemption.
We got a test, see if the play, dude.
Many have pointed
Let me hear that again.
show, where he very casually uses a racial slur.
We got a test, see if the play, dude.
Many have
You got a test. Okay.
pointed out that the
He used the hard R instead of the A. That's probably because, again, where they were raised, where they're from, and how casual it is to throw out that word. You could tell, you can see here, he didn't even give it a second thought. But even though he used a hard R, it sounds like he's meaning it like people would use it with an A.
where he very casually uses a racial slur.
We got a test, see if the play, dude.
Many have pointed out that the slur was directed at a white fan. Dimebag is seen in the video.
See, that doesn't surprise me, because again, he's meaning it like an A, even though he's using an R, because he doesn't know any better, because again, from where he's from.
Wearing a Confederate flag on his sleeve and is infamous for his use of the Confederate flag on his signature guitars. In the past, members of the band have said that their use of the Confederate flag is a tribute to one of their favorite bands, Lynyrd Skynyrd, and not a racist symbol. Fans will of course know this is not the first time one of Pantera's members have found themselves in hot water over racist remarks. In January of 2016, Anselmo ended the Dime Bash Dimebag Daryl tribute show by giving a fascist salute and screaming hate speech into the crowd. The incident was captured by an audience member's cell
It's
phone
like,
camera,
are you
and the
fighting with
video
the
was
crowd?
posted
It
on
seems
YouTube.
like you're getting along with the crowd.
Anselmo
right?
later claimed he was joking about drinking white wine, but after receiving severe online backlash from the metal community, Anselmo released a more formal and official apology. Interestingly enough, 1 year prior to the incident, Anselmo would reflect on Pantera's use of the Confederate flag, denouncing the symbol,
There we go.
"These days, I don't want anything to do with it. You see a Confederate flag out there that says heritage, not hate. I'm not so sure I'm buying into that." Dimebag Daryl was tragically murdered in December of 2004 while performing with Damage Plan at the Al Rosa Villa nightclub in Columbus, Ohio. A deranged fan rushed onto the stage as the band played the first song of its set and shot Abbott multiple times. He was pronounced dead at the scene, aged 38. Prior to today, many fans had not seen this footage and are expressing disappointment in the comment section. What about you? How do you
Fuck's sake, guys. Listen. I'm a liberal. I'm a progressive. we can clearly hear in the text, I mean, in the audio, that he meant it with an A. And again, not meant it, because I'm sure he throws around the R word. This was a while back. I talked about, you know, Call of Duty and the way that they throw the N word. In this case, it was affectionate. Like, I don't want to ramble on about this, but if he was alive today, one would expect an apology, and one would want to hear that he understands why, you know, a word with only one very specific meaning probably shouldn't be used, and it could be considered hurtful, and you just replace it with a different word. It's fine. Bro, dude, whatever. I do think it's silly to completely ignore context in the sense of, and maybe I have more understanding because I am a Caucasian male, but I did not grow up in a racist family. But I have basic empathy, and the empathy works both ways. The key here is growth. Did Phil grow from the experience? Has he become better? If he has, why are we canceling concerts today for something that happened so long ago? If he's grown and he's become better, has he done anything in between that time to make us think that he's regressed in any way? If not, why the hell are we canceling his concerts? We as progressives have to respect that we have the ability to control discourse now. And we have to use that ability wisely because we want to get as many people on our side as possible. So the last thing we want to be doing is canceling people for no reason. Like, we don't want to be censoring YouTube. We don't want to be censoring Twitter. We don't want to be censoring people when it comes to freedom of speech, but we do want to be able to hold people accountable. And the problem with conservatives is they act like you can't, saying anything in response to someone saying dumb shit is considered cancel culture, and that's not cancel culture. That's me calling you a dumbass because you said something stupid, and that's exercising my free speech, and that's the way it's supposed to work. All right, so this is a compilation. Let me. God, I'm cringing already.
And this is something that hits home to me very hard, because if you ever read the lyrics that I write on behalf of all my brothers in Pantera and shit like that, you kind of know where I'm coming from. But for all the newcomers and people that don't know where I stand, this might sound funny, but I tell you what, it needs to be said. And there ain't no other motherfucking band, especially a heavy metal band, that has got the guts to say it. So you listen to me real quick. You listen to me. The big motherfucking trend now, the big trend in the whole goddamn fucking, the MTV and all that goddamn, the radio and shit, is the thing that's been a trend for a while, but it's getting more boisterous and more loud and clear, is a thing called, it's the black rap band. It's the rap thing that's bothering me. You feel the same way, don't you? You're getting fucking tired of this shit, ain't you?
Dude, why do you have to say black rap? He could have just said rap. Like, metalheads have been making fun of rap forever. He could have just did that. He didn't have to specify black. Almost looks like he's getting an erection just talking about this.
I got friends of mine who rent out these PA systems, and they rent out equipment, and they're not prejudiced. They're not prejudiced at all. And I'm gonna say on that very token.
And again, anytime you're gonna say, I'm not racist, but don't say what you're about to say, that's all.
As far as
it's a good rule of thumb.
We got friends of every color and every kind. And you remember what I said?
Again, white people. Here's a word to white people. You don't have to say that. You don't have to mention that. That in and of itself is fucking weird. Okay? That's like me going around every time I meet someone, I'm like, hey, you know, my wife is black. Yeah. You know, I've never, when I bring up my wife, I never bring up what race she is. She's my wife. She's a woman. She has a name. And if you have to explain to people that you have black friends because you did something stupid, stop doing the stupid thing and stop making this cringy as fuck, okay?
You ain't gotta cheer. You ain't gotta cheer. This ain't a Skid Row show. Just listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me.
I'm hoping he has a point.
We got friends of every color and every kind. Do you understand that? You understand what I'm saying? If you conduct yourself as a gentleman and as a human being, then you treat it that way. But when it comes down to when my friends come back and tell me that these black ass rap motherfucking bands are on stage saying, down whitey, the white man is the oppressor, the white man is evil, white this, bad, white that, and shit like this. Look, let me say something, motherfucker. I'm born a honky, 100% motherfucking white. You understand me?
As am I.
I was born in 1968. I'm not responsible for motherfucking jack shit that happened and nobody else is. Nobody else is. And every other motherfucking color and race has every reason in the world to have pride. Black power. Black pride. Hispanic pride. All these things. But if you say white pride, what are you? A racist. If you say white pride, you're a racist. But look, let me say what. I'm gonna put 1 foot motherfucking forward right now. And I'm gonna say straight up, hey, if you got white pride, baby, fucking there you go. Have white pride.
Okay, you see the context there? You can't just go, oh, that's racist. No, that's a guy who was raised by racists saying dumb shit. That's all that is. He's doing the whole I have black friends thing. He's doing the whole there's some good black people, but I'm talking about the bad black people. He's doing all that, and it's cringy as fuck. But he's doing the side, I don't understand why this is racist thing, because he doesn't. He really doesn't. And that's what we have to understand here, is that he is not exactly a scholar who is studying the history of America and understanding systemic racism and oppression. Like, they don't teach that in schools. Even to this day, they are trying to keep kids from learning this in school. They're doing everything they can because they want this level of stupidity to be maintained. Can we understand where it's coming from? Because we can help him understand where it's coming from. He can get educated and smarter, and he has over the years. This is obviously a very young Phil, and this is a very common in the South thinking of white people. And what this does is it causes racism. You can hear in the crowd the support and the bad black people and I mean, if you think that this is falling on nuanced ears, come on. So yeah, you see what I mean? This is not straight up, go look at a real Nazi talk. This is just a dumb white guy from the South who is upset because he doesn't understand that, of course, he didn't do anything, but the ideology and the systemic systems in place are still a problem, and they're still a problem to this day. You also have to understand that just like he's a dumb white guy, there's a lot of dumb black guys who don't understand. The only thing they do understand is the oppression that they feel, the getting pulled over by police, the frustration, the anger. They might misplace that on you as well because, again, they're young. They don't know any better. They weren't taught anything in schools. But the difference between you and them is they actually feel it. So they're coming at you hard because do you know what it's like to actually feel it? And you see how he's coming hard at them for making him feel what they're feeling? So he's coming at them because he's feeling from them. They're feeling it from society. So they're all pushing their feelings, not being empathetic or understanding where they're coming from. But this is life. This is reality. This is what happens when we have a poor educational system who is inherently racist and whitewashing every fucking thing. I can't tell you all the things I've learned in school that I had to unlearn.
And you take that, you take that to the grave with you. And that ain't no damn racist comment. Cause I'll embrace my black brother. I'll fucking hug him, I'll shake his hand, I'll kiss him on the goddamn face if I have to. I'll do what it takes. But I'm gonna tell you what, any motherfucker.
No, it's like the crowd got quiet on that part because they're like, no, bro, we're not gonna do that. They got real quiet on that part. They were cheering before.
This world's gonna tell me I can't wake up and look at myself in the mirror.
But again, Phil's not afraid of them any more than he's afraid of anybody else. So he has no problem saying that. What the fuck are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
And be proud. They can suck my Italian dick. Thank
But they're gonna focus on the part that he says that comes off mildly racist, so that they can cheer for. The part about kissing the black dude, no, they'll be quiet about that. Because again, dumbass people are only gonna hear what they want to hear.
It needed to be said. It needed to be said. And I'm gonna say it till I fucking die. And you take that to the grave. This was called Primal Concrete.
So this is consistent with what I understand about Phil. This is pretty consistent. And again, all I see is a young guy who has a lot to learn. And also, you know, anger issues and problems of his own. Let's be real. The thing that we don't talk as much as we should about, and we should because it's like the poor white people that support Republicans are being hurt by these same Republicans, and they can be helped by the Democrats, but they're too caught up in their brainwashing of like woke culture. Woke came from the concept of watch your back. Black people used it amongst themselves. It wasn't meant to be used by us or anybody else. It was meant to be like stay woke, as in like watch your back, there's some shit going down. Because the only people who are going to look out for yourself in a society where everyone's out to get you is your own people. Okay, that's why black people were so close. Okay, it's the same with the Jews and the ghettos and shit. I mean, come on, if you don't cover each other, then who's going to cover you? Okay, the police? Yeah. What was my point? I don't know. Yes, my point was, again, poor people, angsty, white and black. The problem is when you can't help your poor white people financially, you get them outraged over things that are not things you need to be outraged about. The woke culture, the cancel culture, all that stuff. So that's all they focus about. Listen to Fox, listen to everyone. Focus on what they're saying. They're only talking about culture war. They're not talking about any kind of policy. That should give you some kind of red flag. He's really hung up on these black rap bands. This is all kind of probably like the same time period. Like he just had these ideas. And here's the thing, I'm a fairly intelligent dude, but when I was a kid, when I would hear rappers complain about the police, I would say what every white person says. Yeah, if you're committing crimes, the police are gonna give you problems. You know, because I don't live that life and I couldn't see any other perspective but my own. And you would think, well, if you're committing crimes and of course you're having trouble with the police, you never realized they're talking about everyone's experience. Not just theirs, you know, they're doing it from a first person perspective, but it's everyone's experience, you know? I don't know what age I was when I started to understand, you know, what racial profiling was. You know, it blew my mind when I heard how often the average black person is stopped by police, because when the hell have I ever been stopped? As you grow and you learn and you start to be open to experiences, your ideas change. Here he's in a moment where he has a lack of understanding and he's looking at it from a very particular perspective, and because Phil is Phil, and he's very confident in his ideas, he's obviously very forceful about them. But we do have to remember this is a very young Phil, and this is a mistake that people can make when they don't have the proper education and they come from a certain area and they're raised by certain people. And this is the product of that. And again, what matters is not what happened here in the past. What happens is what has Phil done since then.
Exactly. Song after fucking song, and they down white people. They dog out white people. Can you understand what I'm saying? You know what the fuck I'm talking about? Well, over here they may teach you to be sympathizers and shit like that. Well, let me tell you
kind of the same ideas as the misunderstanding that happens when they did the Black Lives Matter thing. Like, when people would say all lives matter, it's a duh. It's a duh. It's just that in American society, black lives do not matter as much as white lives. As long as I've been alive, black girls going missing has never been a problem. It's always the white girls who get the TV coverage. It's not as hurtful to a white person when a black person dies. Process that for a minute. You know what I mean? That shouldn't be the way, but again, when you're raised around your kind and you give more value to your own, and then you start to misunderstand what those meanings are, because it's like all lives matter, but you're not understanding. See, in your world, you don't even feel it. But then think about it. If you don't feel it the same way, boom, have that self-realization that, oh, I get it. Black lives do matter, and we haven't been making them matter, right? We haven't had the same outrage for one versus another, you know? We haven't made the effort to go find the black girls like we do the white girls. It's like, you get what I'm saying? So it's the same thing here, where black pride has to do with the fact that black people have been taught to look down on themselves. And it's the concept and the idea of bringing yourselves up in a society that wants to keep you down. And Phil just doesn't understand that here, okay? And again, if you believe something wholeheartedly, why wouldn't you go after it aggressively? So of course he's going after it because he's angry here, because he doesn't understand why he should feel bad, and he doesn't understand that nobody wants him to feel bad. This is a common misconception made even today. Nobody wants you to feel bad. Nobody wants you to apologize for shit. What people want is an improved society where everyone really is equal. Okay? But until that happens, the oppressed societies do have to try to bring themselves up somehow and protect themselves. And white people just seem to have such a problem with that, because they have such a problem accepting that we are the problem. Okay? And it's not we as in the individual we. It's the society we. This doesn't faze me. Again, this is old, and I get where he's coming from. And even though he's wrong, again, doesn't qualify as a racist because, well, let's put it this way. He might have been a little racist here, okay, even though he didn't know it. But as you grow and you educate, because racism, to be racist, you have to be stupid. You have to have fundamental stupid ideas to be racist. Because the moment you allow any intelligent ideas crawl into your head, just the sheer numbers, these are just dumb ideas. So because he had these dumb ideas, he probably was pretty racist back then. But, you know, even though he's claiming the whole black friend thing, because, you know, it's always the good ones, right? Even the slave owners had some good ones in their homes, right? The ones who knew how to act. That didn't make them any less horrific, okay?
Let me get this off my chest. Let me say this to you.
And it seems like the getting off the chest, you know, usually when you want to get something off your chest, you do it once and you're done. But this seems to be a concert shtick. So again, he's harping about the whole, you know, equal stuff. Yeah, I get it. Fundamental misunderstanding of concepts, poor education, poor upbringing. It is what it is. And as I was expecting, all old shit. So the guy has done nothing in the last 7 years. He's apologized. He knows. And like a real apology where he knows, he understands that people have a right to be pissed off with him. But we're canceling him in 2023. Yeah. I don't agree with that. There's nothing I can do about it, because again, to call Phil a slow learner is an understatement. And at some point, people are just going to give up on you. Some people are. Like, I understand that Germany might have been one of the people canceling. And you know, sometimes I see in the comments like, who is Germany to judge someone's history? But I think it's a little more nuanced than that. It's about not perpetuating a certain ideology that was a pretty big problem over there. So to have a zero tolerance when you are the country of origin kind of makes sense. I can't blame them. So it's like, you know, it's like saying America wouldn't have a right to fight against slavery because they were built on slavery. It's like, no. I mean, if we all know it's morally wrong, we should want that. We should support that, regardless of the history, because again, it's about improvement. So yeah, I don't agree with it, but at the same token, do I expect everyone to do the work? Or, if you're not a Pantera fan or a Phil fan, why would you even care to do the work? This guy has never been embarrassed of embarrassing himself. And when you come off hateful, you can't be surprised when people don't want to be associated with you. And we're all kind of responsible for that. We all have to own that. Yeah. Personal opinion, if I had to make the call, I would say let him perform. Let him redeem. I feel like he's had plenty of opportunity to redeem himself. He's been relatively clean. All these videos are old. It's on us as a society. This is what we're talking about. Helping and improving society comes and starts with education. And this is why you can't be against what they're claiming. And again, this is the culture war bullshit, critical race theory. They're not teaching critical race theory in schools. What they want to teach, though, is correct and accurate history, not to make your child feel bad. And mind you, if there's one or two dumb liberal teachers or somebody who is trying to do that, we're gonna stomp them out. We eat our own. We have like these small amounts of dumb people ruining it for everyone because conservatives will take that small morsel, okay, and exaggerate it and use it in the 24-hour news cycle. But what I'm saying is educating your kids on what is truth and what is reality. Okay, this is a fundamental rules that I live by, is the only way to live. You cannot and you should not shelter your kids from the truth. And if that truth does make them feel bad, good. That's how we become empathetic people, okay? It's okay to find out that history was sad, because it fucking was, for everybody. It's okay to talk about that.
Stegen tot de